rental property market analysis. That's pretty much how I feel about it. And I feel like that's about how everyone else feels like about it, because everybody wants to do it and nobody can really figure out how. And by market analysis, what do I mean? I mean, if you are trying to invest in a rental property, or doing any kind of investing for that matter, you want to make sure that the market you're investing in, the market that you're buying a property in, is going to positively impact your investment. If you buy in a bad market and your investment property tanks, guess what also tanks? Your investment, your profit. So where you buy matters. There's the cliche, location, location, location. But there is value to that. So we know there's value to it. We know it's important. How do you analyze a market to know if you're buying in a good spot or not? Well, I'm here to tell you the answer is not obvious. There is no black and white website you can go to saying, is this one good? Check yes or no. It's not that simple. And I see more and more people just sitting, spinning their wheels, trying to figure out, is it good market? Here's the analysis I'm doing. Here's the statistics I'm looking up. Okay, cool. And I can promise you, in most of the cases, those people don't seem to get very far. They get a whole bunch of information. That's about as far as it goes. So, what is the solution? How can you properly do a solid market analysis in a location where you're thinking of buying a rental property? So before I keep going and before I answer that question, if you can relate and you've asked this question yourself, make sure you've hit that like button, and also make sure you're subscribed to my channel. It's that little red button down there. You see it? Make sure you're subscribed, because I guarantee you this is not going to be the only conversation we have about this. So make sure you get those notices. I put new videos out every single week, and they're all about rental properties and real estate investing. So let's dive in. Market analysis. Now, here's my little disclaimer to what I'm about to tell you. If you are watching this video and you want a really technical analysis and technical step-by-step on how to do exactly the right market analysis, you're not going to get that here. And if you watch this, you may be kind of upset at the end that I did not give you what you were hoping for. I guarantee you there are a lot of people out there who want that step-by-step process. They want the technical details. They want all the boxes to check yes or no. I'm not going to give you that here. Here's why. Because every time I've seen someone come up with that list, or they've started checking the boxes yes or no, it doesn't actually get them anywhere in terms of applying what they find to actually analyzing the market. I know, frustrating, right? So the version of this answer that I'm going to give you is a much more broad and maybe not abstract, but it's more leaning that way than it is technical. So it's a very broad 25,000 foot view answer to the question of, how do I analyze a market for a possible rental property? Okay, now that you have my little disclaimer, so you can't leave a bad review or hit unlike, because I already warned you. So here's what I do. I do two main things to get myself started. Number one, there are so many resources out there that can give you reports about certain neighborhoods and markets. One that I like is RentFacts Pro. I'll put a link down below. Check out what they offer. There are a lot of other companies who offer these kinds of reports where you plug in the address of a property and it gives you all sorts of statistics about the market, the neighborhood, vacancy rates, rents, comps, the whole thing. So what I like to do with those is read the whole report and help it give me the big picture. Because here's one of the biggest problems with this entire thing as to why those black and white checkboxes don't necessarily work. Data without context does not give you interpretation. And unless you know how to interpret the data that you are receiving, all those stats and statistics, everything that you're gathering, if you don't have context for those and know how to interpret it, the data is useless. You can find out every statistic under the sun, and if you don't know how to interpret it, not going to help you. So what I like about those reports is it gives a lot of those statistics and it gives a lot of those numbers, and it actually has the interpretation for you, because most of us don't know how to interpret the data. Here's my favorite example about it. What's the number one statistic everybody wants to find when they're looking at a market and trying to do market analysis? Crime stats. What is the crime? Well, I can tell you personally, I live in Venice Beach, California, and I've looked at the crime stats there, and I will tell you that if the crime stats dictated everything in Venice Beach, I would have been decapitated years ago. Yeah, the crimes were real, and yeah, there's a lot of crime in Venice Beach, but how does that interpret to my experience? I've been there for 9 years, and I've not experienced what those statistics would suggest that I should be experiencing. That's why this falls apart. So let those reports do some of that for you. It's not going to give you every answer, but it's going to give you some hint of that interpretation that you may not have been able to find otherwise. So that's number one. Run something like a RentFacts Pro report or some comparable report to start gathering your information. Second thing, and I think this thing is the absolute most important and the most helpful, talk to locals. Talk to local real estate agents, talk to especially local property managers. If you're only going to talk to one person, make it property managers. Talk to people who are from the area and have experience in the neighborhood in which you're thinking of buying. Property managers especially, all they deal with are rent amounts, evictions, tenants, everything. So find out from them, how easy will it be to rent this property? What kind of tenant quality can you expect? What do you think? How are the numbers looking? How much do you think you could get for this property? Talk to the locals because they can give you the boots on the ground information. It's kind of like skipping the data and the context and going straight for the interpretation. And same with local real estate agents. They may even more than property managers have a better idea of the direction of the market. Are they seeing increases in sales? Are they seeing increases in demand? Same with the property managers. Is there an increase in rental demand or is there a decrease? All of these questions are the things that actually matter. Yes, crime stats can dictate some of these for sure. It's not that they're not important. School quality, it doesn't mean that that's not important. They all kind of dovetail and play hand in hand. But ultimately, are people trying to move to the city? Are there plenty of jobs there? Are they seeing an increase in population? Lots of industry, lots of different jobs. And what are the quality of the tenants? The locals who work in the market every single day with this industry, agents, property managers, bird dogs, flippers, wholesalers, who knows what, maybe not the wholesalers and the bird dogs, but people who have the boots on the ground, they can give you their interpretation. So, how do you like my 25,000 foot view of market analysis? I know some of you are still getting itchy because there's not specific technical bullet points to follow. It is run those reports to help you with the interpretation of the data that you're looking for anyways. Also, finding data is hard. And then you get it all, and what do you do with it? I don't know. Let the reports help you. And then absolutely talk to several locals and get their take on their experience in that market. So, there you have it. Those are the things that I do when I'm looking at a new market myself. Call me the lazy investor, but why would I reinvent the wheel? Somebody's already done all those statistics and interpreted it. Like, why not piggyback off of that? So I'm going to leave you with a couple last resources. If you know me, you probably know that I work with a lot of turnkey rental properties. If you're thinking about market analysis in terms of turnkeys, my answer for everything is a little bit different. So I have a video linked below that dives into that. Definitely check that out because there's a little bit of a perspective shift that I want you to realize for that. Second video is, what are the risks to rental properties? I know, that kind of seems unrelated, right? But when you actually look at it, the risk are often tied to the market. And so if you're aware of exactly how the market can impact your rental property, you might know a little more specific questions to ask those locals, to look in the rental reports. So it's just kind of helping give you some knowledge about things to look for. So with that said, share your market analysis stories below. If you have had success in determining the entire fate of a market based just off the crime stats, let me know that too, and I will take that in consideration. But share your stories, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and if you're in the middle of market analysis and feel overwhelmed by it, I hear you. Most people are. Hit that like button, tell us you're one of those people, join the club. All right, friends, that is all.